Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Flop. This is episode 16. We're going to talk about the state of the game and how we're very excited for the future of this game. We're just kind of chill and just bring you into a normal conversation that we would have if we were just sitting around. So without further ado, Dad, how's it going?
Man, it's going good. It's just good to talk, and it's always good to talk about cornhole. So
Yeah.
I'm
Anytime
excited
we
to just
can.
have kind of a casual deal, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Anytime we can make some time to just talk about what we enjoy doing, it's definitely fun. So, I
And
guess
as we all know, that if you talk about something that you enjoy, you'll more than likely find that quite palatable.
yeah, if you like things that you enjoy,
Yeah.
uh, there's a high chance that you'll like doing that.
Yeah. Facts.
Cool. So, yeah, before we get started, I just want to say thanks again, as always, to our sponsors, Triple Crown. Go check them out on Facebook. They have events coming up. They're always playing out in Iowa. So definitely, if you guys are in the area, check them out. And we always appreciate your support. Now, yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about the state of this awesome game that we get the privilege of playing. So, I remember when I first started, which really wasn't that long ago. I mean, we grew up playing together and out just in the backyard and stuff and on vacations. But when I started playing, I mean, it was all about the game changer. It was all about sliding bags in the hole. And
Yeah.
now we're in just like a completely different stratosphere where we're like just little kids. Like, I mean, like 10-year-olds are doing the craziest cuts and rolls you've ever seen. And then like
Right.
people you never even heard of are coming out of the woodwork and like beating, some of the top names. And like it is just shifting like crazy.
No, you're absolutely right. I can remember very clearly when I first started making the transition over to proper two-sided cornhole bags
Hmm.
from the duck cloth bags, and we played on our press boards at the river with our holes that weren't quite round, but they were
Yeah.
close enough. Um, you know, when I got my very first real set of bags, and I was so proud of them, I had Reaper slide rights, so I
Mm,
had suede and that 7 material.
okay.
Um, so I was very proud of those bags. And I will backtrack a little bit. My brother actually got us each a set of the old classic ACO 450s.
Oh, they're solid. I want to throw those so bad now, and I just want to roll the crap out of them. Like, I
Oh, you could
guarantee you
roll
we could
those.
roll like a level 6 block with those.
Yeah. Like that's the one where you could roll the front board. Like you could
Oh
hit a
yeah.
front board and then just roll up the board and get it in the hole.
Yeah.
But so started off with those, but then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to these old cornhole Reapers. They look so sweet to me. Love the design. Still love those Reaper designs, honestly.
Yeah.
But I probably would have, I guess, if I could make that decision again, I probably would have went with the all slide instead of the slide right. But I just felt
Yeah.
like, well, back then I was afraid of a faster bag. I was afraid of the bag that I was going to just throw off the board. I was still new. I wasn't quite dialed in. And I felt like points on the board were better than nothing on the board. Right. I mean, 1 point is better than no points. Right.
That's right.
So, um, so I remember, getting those, and then going to my draws and stuff like that. But then I'd see Vipers, and then the game changers. They were relatively new. They had just started showing up, and you couldn't get them, and because they were in such high demand. So yeah, it was changing. It was changing to more of this fast bag style. Because
Yeah.
if you remember ACO, ACL, and all that, originally they all threw those suede stick bag or suede slick. So it was like
Yeah.
that
I
duck
remember.
cloth kind of material. And then, of course, just the traditional suede. So it was very much a block game, even if you didn't want it to be.
It's crazy.
There wasn't a lot of hole for hole back then. Now, sure, there were dudes who could four bag at will. Matt Guy's always been able to do that, regardless of what he was throwing. But you think about it, it was real messy. I mean, I've watched championship games where they're throwing those stick slick bags and they're just clogging the hole. And you're walking away and this player's got 2 points because they snuck one in before anybody else, before the hole clogged up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and it was like, it was just ugly. It was an ugly game. And not necessarily in a bad way, but it just wasn't a clean board every single throw. It wasn't
Yeah.
open board fast bag, straight up the middle, straight up the middle, you know? So I digress a little bit, but you went from this real cloggy, sticky, dirty game, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, look at these bags. They're fast and they don't clog and they slink in. If there's a freaking hole the size of a baseball anywhere in the hole, it's just going to find it and just suck right in, you know?
Yeah.
And so then fast bags, that was the hit. You know, you had your Vipers and your game changers, and it was just like, all
Heck yeah.
slides. And it was just the rise of the fast bag had begun. And that was only a couple of years ago. And
Yeah.
now all of a sudden it's a renaissance of the slow bag, but it's that instead of the suede, it's the carpet bags and the carpet hybrid bags and those kinds of things. And it's making the game dirty again, but it's dirty in such a beautiful way.
Yeah.
Like you and I both, we agree completely that, a 7-point round can be gorgeous if it's
Oh
played
yeah.
the right way. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you look at it and you're like, oh, well, his PPR is going to take a hit. Yeah, but he just got 4 points off that round.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it is what it is. But it's like I used to tell people all the time, people think, soccer's boring. And like, they're like, oh, well, oh yeah, it's a barn burner. It's a 0-0 game or whatever. But they're not watching what these people are doing. They're kicking
Yeah.
a ball 40, 50 yards and landing it with a player full sprint in stride, landing it on
Yeah.
his foot. I'm
It's crazy.
sorry, but there's nothing boring about that,
No.
So the same thing applies for the Messi style of play. I love watching two guys. You get me two roll bag players playing a game together, and I'm on the edge of my seat. That to me is just classic, beautiful game cornhole. I love it more than anything in the world. I would rather see that all day long than 65 bags in the hole in a row. That's impressive, not taking away from it. Absolutely mind-blowing impressive, but not as fun of a game to watch as watching two chess masters just freaking, all right, what are you going to do with this? Okay, you're going to roll that. Well, I'm going to roll that too. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to cut that. It's like, it's just back and forth and you're just watching these dudes go. And to me personally, that is such a more fun, engaging match to watch.
It is. It really is. I really like that style of play. There's a lot of consequences for playing that way. But it's got to be better than just waiting for someone to throw a 10 and then you get 2 points. Like, that's always fun, but
yeah,
it's impressive for sure. But exactly like you're saying, like when you look at different sports, when you look at soccer and you're like, oh, a 0-0 match is, the most boring thing you could ever watch or whatever. It's like, that's just because we're uneducated. If you're uneducated about a sport and how difficult it is, it's going to seem boring to you. But like, if you realize what Tony Smith is doing or what Jimmy Humans is doing, it is unbelievable, and it's so hard to do. And that's why we like to talk about these things, because we like to shine a light on the skill of these people and the people that are competing at the top. It's unreal to watch. It seriously is.
It really is. I mean, it's unfathomable the things that these guys are able to do, and just the shots that you see them pull off with these bags. I mean, it's like they're an extension of their arm. It's all so fluid and it's all so easy for them. And they miss, everybody misses from time to time, but there's so much finesse and so much and beauty really in what these guys do, that it's just admirable. It's something, it really is something to appreciate, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool. And like another thing I like about the dirty play is you can score so many points on someone. Like if you, just like you're saying, like you could throw a 7-point round, but if you're playing dirty enough and you're skillful enough, like you might score 4 points there. Like, Matt Guy is not scoring 4 points playing Mark Richards. He's scoring 2. That's it. That's the max. Like, I mean,
sometimes 1.
sometimes 1. And that's right. And it's like, it's amazing. It's so cool. And I don't want to, repeat myself, but it's when these guys play dirty and when they do these insane shots, like the consequences are so high and like they're so skillful that they can push a bag all the way up the board. And you could literally think at the beginning of the round, there is no way that they're coming out of this round scoring points. I would bet my life on it. And then they score points and they score like 4 or something insane. I mean, it's just wild.
Yeah. It's that brings to mind that match we were watching. Eric Davis, of course, one of our favorite players. Do you remember with Trey? He goes, if you would have told me Eric Davis was going to score points on this round, I would have laughed in your face.
Laughed in your face.
We died when he said that because it's so true. He had a bag out just orbiting the board. I don't even know if you could see it at all.
Oh my God.
And then he cleaned it up and got points on the round, and it was insane. But it just goes to show you. I mean, it's like Trey Ryder's seen it all, and yet, he's speechless watching that. And it's because the level of these players is so good. And you're absolutely right, man. You get an airmail guy against a filthy board player. Look, people are sick at airmails and ACL. These pro players are so automatic with airmails. But how many times have you watched a top tier player miss two airmails in a row? It's happened.
It happens a lot. It really does. Yeah.
So, and how many times has that carpet player set that block and then they automatically airmail over it, ping off the back of the board? All right. And then Tony or somebody roll bag. They're sitting on 4 points right now. Ping off the back of the board. Tony, roll bag. He's sitting on 7 points right now. Okay.
So crazy.
Then let's say the next 2 airmails go in. Tony throws his bag to the ground. He still gets a point.
So crazy.
It's, and the chances are he's not going to throw his bag on the ground. He's probably going to try to make it in the hole. I would wager. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to clean up that block.
And he can airmail that too.
And he's automatic. He's automatic. But let's say he cleans that up and he's got that 12. And the next, the other player gets 6. That's a 6-point round just from setting a strategic block and making your opponent work. Now, is there going to be there's obviously going to be times when these players like your Matt guys and your Jamie Grahams are going to just hit 3-4 airmails in a row. You know, I mean, that happens a lot too. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it doesn't. But if you ask me, you block and making them do the work is the way to go.
Oh yeah.
Today's game. And I'm not talking about me personally. I'm talking about top tier player versus top tier player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a positive direction. And I honestly, like, the whole thing ebbs and flows just like anything else. Like, I'm sure we will be back to fast bags within the next like 2 years or whatever, and everyone will be throwing them again, because what everyone's attempting to do is we find a solution. We figure out how to beat the guy that can only airmail and slide shot, and then he adapts and he creates a new solution where he learns to cut and roll and all that stuff. And then we're like, oh, all these people are focusing so much on playing dirty. We're going to just switch it back and we're going to throw, fast side incinerators. And, it's fun to watch it. It's ever evolving, but it really is a circle. It's like skinny jeans and, baggy jeans.
Yeah. Yeah. It's only a matter of time for the Jankos come back or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, but it's cool though. Like, it's so cool. I mean, I can't believe that people are traveling around now and making money doing it and quitting their jobs just to throw bags. And I mean,
right.
I can't believe it. Like, we know people that do it, and it's just, it's so crazy to me.
It's really crazy to me as well. And, I can think of nothing in the world I would love to do more than just travel to everything and play cornhole.
Oh my gosh.
The problem is my stupid life gets in the way and I'm too busy to go to all the things that I want to go to and to
Yeah.
practice as much as I'd like to practice. Because as we have discussed on the show many times, you have got to put the work in. If you want to be
Yeah.
great, then you have got to practice great. You know, you have got to get out there and dial it in, lock it in, throw bags every day. And unfortunately, I just can't do that right now, which
Yeah.
is okay. I'm happy in my life. I'm not miserable at all. I love my family. I love my girls. I love you, but I don't
Yep.
get to see you, so you don't really take up much of my time out there in
Oh,
North
you're seeing me
Carolina.
right now. I'm taking
I
up all
know,
kinds
right?
of time right now.
You're taking
Yeah.
up all kinds of time. But
Yeah.
point is though, is like, I've got other things going on, maybe when my girls get a little older and when your sisters are not wanting to hang out with their family as much and they're doing their own
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Maybe dad gets to practice a little more and
Be cool.
make a run. But as of right now, it's like it is so mind-blowing though that there are people out there who they wake up and they throw bags and they it's their job.
Yep.
They go to pay their taxes and they're like, what do? I'm a professional cornhole player and I made
Wow.
bank last year, like
Yep.
it's insane to me. So yeah, it's
That's
awesome.
really cool. I hope that we can get to the point in the future where we're able to travel and go to events and like hang out with you guys listening. And I want to like be there. I want to be involved. I want to speak with people and try to help people and just like have a good time. Because I mean, like,
Yeah.
we're quickly making a name as the regular cornhole guys, and because that's what we are. Like, we have lives, but we love this game, and like we want
Yeah.
to be good at it in spite of having lives and having other responsibilities and stuff. So like,
Right.
I think the future is going to be awesome. And like, I can't wait for, the opportunities that this show is going to present. And I think that we've already helped a lot of people. And I'm really, really excited for like, what we're going to be able to do in the future.
Absolutely. You and I,
Hmm.
when we talked about doing this, we talked about starting this podcast. Our main focus was to be a voice for people who want to get better, who want to learn, who are in the same situation that we are,
Yeah.
and you're right. We have gotten a ton of feedback and I love the community so far that has embraced us. And like you said, it's like we're the regular guys of cornhole. We don't talk uh we're not trying to talk to you from a professional player perspective.
Yeah.
We always try to speak to anyone who wants to watch the show, and I hope that advanced players, pro players, who are watching, can get something from what we're saying. And if they have critiques and tips, we'd love to see them in the comments. By all means,
Yeah.
if you were the guy, by all means, leave us a comment if we say something you don't agree with. Because one thing I will say for Zach and myself is that we are both perpetual students.
Hmm.
If I'm doing something wrong and someone comes to me and says, hey, you're doing that wrong, or I don't even mean like in a mean way, but they're just like, I think you're going about that the wrong way. Have you tried it like this? I am always open to critique. I am always open to that. I am not the guy that's like, no, this square peg is 100% going to go in this round hole. It's just
Hmm.
going to take a lot of time to do it, but I'm going to get it in there. Like, no, show me an easier way. Hey, if you
I agree.
turn left by the Sonic, you could cut 5 minutes off your drive. Bet I'm never going the other way again, because I want to get there in the shortest amount of time possible. And I
Yeah.
feel like, good tips, good tricks and techniques and things are the best way to do that. I love the video you just posted about just a little cue for the roll bag. And we have gotten so much feedback on it.
Hmm.
People have been overwhelmingly positive about that and just like, wow, that is so helpful, and just reaching out. And to us, we love that. It really
Yes,
fuels
we do.
us. And I'll be perfectly honest, we've gotten such positive feedback from the numbers of people that we've talked to, that we feel like the show's completely worth it. We feel like, if we didn't grow another single bit, if we just had the watchers and the viewers that we have now, and we're helping them in their journey, it's worth it to us, because that's what we
Yeah.
wanted to do,
I agree. I mean, it's honestly crazy to like look at the analytics and see that like all of you guys that are subscribing, like pretty much everyone that subscribes to our channel watches our videos. Like our views are like pretty much, they
Yeah.
pretty much coincide with our subscribers. And obviously we get
Yeah.
more views on some videos, but it's like, it's crazy because I look at other channels, cornhole or not cornhole related, and that's like very rare. So like we're really, really grateful to be in the position where the people that subscribe to
Yeah.
us actually like look forward to the content and stuff. And like, we really appreciate you guys, watching everything.
Yeah, we do. And our goal was never just to stay, sitting in our homes doing this show. We do eventually, the goal is to get out there. The
Yep.
goal is to grow the channel and the fan base and the following and Flop Nation, if you will. We want to grow it to the point to where we get to go to events and do, maybe do live feeds and streams and things like that. Go out, just interview players and post things on the channels, gameplay and footage and things like that. Like we have large plans for this channel, and
Yeah.
we're going to try to work to do it. And we know it's not going to be overnight, and this is going to be down the road, but we have a vision and a dream of being a voice in the cornhole world and continuing to help people and to be approachable. The tournament I went to, a couple of weeks ago, where I was talking about the super sticky boards and whatnot, I had a person come up to me for the first time that I didn't know and say, "Are you the guy from the flop?" And I was like,
That is cool.
"Yes, I am the guy from the flop." And I only eat green M&Ms, and the water better be 78 degrees. I'm just kidding. But it
Yeah.
was really cool. And thank you, Ben. That meant the world to me. Just quick shout out to you. I know you watched the videos, but it was really awesome. And thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Zach appreciates the support.
Mhm.
And it was a really cool moment for me. Not too big for my britches. I'm not a celebrity or anything, but it was neat. I was in a place, a couple hours away, didn't know anybody. Well, I knew a lot of the players because there were a lot of local players, but there were a lot of people I didn't know. And for him to come up and say, hey, are you the guy from the flop? And it was like, all right, that's cool. That's cool.
Heck yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, we're trying to grow, guys. Like if anybody, is out there listening and has, um a business or an opportunity or, like potential sponsor partnerships, like we are actively seeking out these things. Like we want to work with like-minded organizations. We want to work with people that, want the best for people and want people to grow and get better and to like just grow the sport in general. And so like,
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm just so excited for every opportunity we've had already. Like all the cool people we've gotten to work with already. Like it's crazy that Triple Crown sponsors the show. It's so cool that Stan Wissing designed our logo, and I mean it's just like it's
Wissing
really
creative,
surreal.
that's okay, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, no, but yeah, it's really cool that we've been able to work with some people, and we've had people reach out to us and want us to review bags or want us to shout us out in a way on like their feeds and stuff. And it's been really a cool experience. And I know we've got some potential things coming up in the
Mhm.
future. Keep your eyes peeled. There'll be some interesting things coming up, and I think everybody will it'll be exciting for everybody. So
Mhm. Yeah. Heck yeah. I mean, it's such a fun game. I love the direction it's going. I love that there's like money being poured into the sport, obviously, because money, kind of propels the whole thing. Like there's literally, I mean, people bet on cornhole now, which honestly, if you ask me, like betting on cornhole could be the scariest thing that you could ever do with your money, um, and your blood pressure
yes.
ever. I
Yeah.
mean, like you talk about like thinking that Jamie Graham is going to, be 70+% on an airmail or something. And then that very likely instance where just for some reason he misses two in a row and the game's over. And your
Yeah.
face is in your hands and you're like, what just happened? Like, I thought this was a
Right.
guarantee. I mean, cornhole, like people that bet on cornhole are crazy, honestly.
Yeah, people that bet on cornhole probably just have too much money. I mean, I guess if we're just being
Yeah,
honest,
gotta be.
because you're absolutely right. And you and I, again, we have talked about this in the show. We've talked about the fact that at the top level, you were talking about micro percentages difference in ability in two players. You
Yeah.
can only put 4 bags in the hole per round.
Yep.
That's it. And you got 2 individuals playing at the highest level in the finals who are very capable of putting 4 bags in the hole for many rounds to come,
Yeah.
And it's like you said, all it takes is that one bad round. One bad round could be
I
the
mean,
difference
that's it.
maker.
Like everybody listening to the show knows, like, oh, if you're in the backyard shooting airmails or something, you're like, I did it with my finger again. I did that thing where I just do my wrist a little bit too much. Like they deal with that, but
Yeah.
they're playing for $50,000 or whatever,
Yeah.
$2,500 or whatever it is. I mean, it's insane.
I
Like
hit
that
my
would be
leg.
crazy. Yeah, I hit my leg. Yeah, you're not allowed to hit your leg actually
Once
in
you're a
pro
pro,
cornhole.
you
Yeah.
you don't hit your leg anymore when you throw an airmail, I guess.
No, I
I don't
guess
know. I'm
not.
thinking about surgically having a section of my thigh removed, just
I think
so
it's a
that
good
it's
idea.
it's just fluid, and I'll take the bag in with me to the surgeon.
Yep.
This is where it goes. Could you just create? I just need like a half moon, just the meat, just chunk right out.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
God, I hit my leg so much at this stage. 2.5 years in, I guess I've been playing, and I still hit my leg.
I know. It's crazy.
So
It's just, yeah, the margin of error is so small.
the
It's so
margin of error
wild.
is so small.
It's so wild how we talk about like you can only throw 4 bags in the hole. I think that's the reason that you see like all of these new guys just popping up out of nowhere, like Matthew Creek Killer or
Mhm.
Mark Richards or just guys that you haven't really heard of. They just explode out of nowhere because
Yeah,
really all exploding is in cornhole air quotes is just getting to where you can consistently throw a 10 point per round. You go to an ACL Open, you throw over a 10 the entire event, like you're probably gonna win. Obviously there's different variables, and um,
yeah,
sometimes Matt Guy throws crazy and throws
yeah.
11 ones and stuff.
11.67 PPR or whatever. It's like, yeah, he threw 4,000 bags at this tournament. He missed 7.
Yeah. So I mean, it's so crazy. But
It
yeah, that's
is.
how like,
There
and when
was
you
that
talk
guy in the
about,
Facebook comments you were talking to who has an 11 PPR.
I'm
Who said
really excited to see him
he gets
on
10s and
the circuit
11s.
coming up
Yeah.
soon. Yeah, he throws 11s, 10s and 11s every time, nearly every
Every
time.
time 10s and
Um,
11s.
yeah, which Matt
I
Guy
never
would.
throw 11s.
Yeah, exactly. Me either. I can't do it. I mean,
If
it's
you've thrown an
wild.
11, comment below, let us know, because I've never done it and it just seems very difficult to do in cornhole.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming he was talking about point per round average. There was a guy that was saying,
Yeah.
I don't see why people are worried about other people's bags because, I just throw like a 10 or 11 point per round every time, anyways, no matter what bag it is. And I was like, and he was like, so like, why are you guys worrying about these bags and stuff and adjusting to them or whatever? And I was like, dude, like, you're not gonna have to worry about bags at all. Like, you're gonna
No.
be sponsored tomorrow, and you're gonna be playing on ESPN and beating Matt Guy like very soon. So don't even worry about it, dude.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Don't worry about us, man. We're still trying to figure this thing out. I'm still trying to lock down this 8 PPR. That's what I'm trying
Yeah,
to lock down
I would
because
love to just throw an 8 all the time. Like,
yeah,
just guarantee that I could throw an 8 all the
yeah.
time. That'd be sweet.
I kind of am with you because at this stage of the game, it's like, most of the time I throw in the mid 7s, and
Yeah.
then I'll have a standout, a few regionals back. I actually threw like a mid 8. It was like an 8.5 and it was amazing and I loved it.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I think I just trade it. I think if I could just throw 8 if I could just be Ghost 8, like I'm just going to identify as
Yeah,
Ghost 8 now. Like
that's a good
that's
idea.
me. I think I'd do it because locally and stuff, I think throwing 8s every single round is plenty for me.
Oh my gosh. You would win so much. Like
Yeah.
you would win so much at local stuff. Like, yeah, you won't win all the time, but like,
Mm-mm.
God, that level of consistency would be
Yeah.
insane. It'd be so
Oh yeah.
nice.
Well, and for any of us who've ever played Ghost, I know when you're beginning out, and I know for me for a long time, Ghost 7 was like my nemesis. Ghost 7 is a bastard, and
Mm-hmm.
he is unmerciful. You know what that guy does? He throws a 7 every single round,
It's
every
unrelenting.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he throws a 7 every time.
And so you've got to score over a 7 if you want any points at all. And you'd be so surprised. You don't think about it until you start tracking this stuff, which is why we tell you guys it's so important to track what you do with your
Mhm.
practice, your deck rounds, playing ghosts, things like that. Because you just don't realize how many 4s and 5s you throw,
Mm-mm.
like accidentally. Or you've got a bag in the hole, you sit one on the back of the hole, and then you try to airmail it to drag it, and you knock both of those off, and
Yeah,
so your next bag stalls and there's a 4. You
that's
just don't
crazy.
think about these rounds, and it's so easy to do. I mean, even at the pro level, I've seen players, it's like 9 times out of 10 they're going to hit the drag, but they do that exact same thing and the other player gets a 12, and it's just, ooh, that was
Yep.
ugly. You're like,
It's
oh
crazy. I mean, you just
yeah,
put it out of your mind. You
yeah,
forget about your bad rounds. Because
yeah,
like we talk about, everyone feels like they're the star of their own movie, and you think you threw
yeah,
really well. I remember you saying one episode, you were saying like, I know that I threw the best that I've ever thrown ever, or something, and it was like a long, really good game, and you looked and it was like 8-7 or something, and you're like,
yeah,
how is this even possible? It's like because stuff happens, and like
yeah,
I don't know how stuff doesn't happen to the pros.
mhm.
Maybe because they slide
Yeah,
every bag in. Like maybe that's
maybe
what it is. Like that's
maybe that's what it
there are a
is.
select few that don't um that don't actually just slide every bag in. But I feel like
Yeah,
for us, like you're just gonna have rounds where you throw a 5. Like if there's bags on the board, like you're gonna hit somebody else's bag, it's gonna go
yeah,
off. You're gonna try to make something of what is now just a depressing situation,
yeah,
and you're gonna come out with a 5.
yeah. Right, because you're going to say, "Well, I missed that one off the bag. I really need to hit this push." And as everyone knows, a good push shot is one of the hardest shots in all of cornhole.
Oh yeah.
I know sometimes, I'm a carpet guy, so I throw my blocker and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's money. It's right in front of the hole. Perfect." They throw their bag and it goes off. I throw my bag to push in and I go off just right to the right of it,
Oh,
and then right to the left of it, and then right to the right of it. And it's like, oh my God, all you have to do is go straight. But yeah,
I know.
it's good times. But anyway, you're right though, because you're the star of your own movie. You watch that game go back, you win the game, maybe you win by a big margin. And so yeah, in your head, you're like, oh my God, I threw out of my face. Like
Hmm.
that was crazy. Like people, there had to have been crowds watching me. I was throwing so good right there.
Yeah.
And then you go back into your ACL app and you go to look at that game stat, and you go down there to the bottom where it shows you your points per round, and you look and you're like, I thought I scored a 10 like every round. And you're like, nope, I scored 3 10s, and I scored 5 7s, and I scored 2 3s,
Oh
and you
yeah.
just,
Don't forget
oh,
about
there,
those
and
two
you,
threes.
yeah, like you take that game and then you look over and you go, oh, wait a minute, there's 0 underneath 4 baggers. Wow. And it's like, you just, it's hard sometimes to step
Yeah.
outside of yourself when you're throwing well. And I think these moments when you're throwing well and you feel like you're throwing well, you should definitely hold on to those and use that to fuel your confidence, because
Yeah.
you did throw well. You won the game. You threw well enough to win the game, and you feel really good and confident. So don't let the truth stand in the way of your confidence boost.
Don't let logic and
And
objective
facts.
reason get in the way of how you feel about beating
When has
those
that ever
guys.
mattered?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it matters at all.
I
I
don't think it
I
matters
mean,
at
I'll
all.
use that confidence any day. I mean, I will play games where we'll win the game, and I know very well. I'm like, I just threw worse than I do at the house in that game, and we just
Yeah.
won. But
Mhm.
like, it still feels good to win. Like a win is a
Of course it
win,
does.
and you wanna ride that momentum for
Get
sure.
that dub.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get that dub.
We're just
We're
trying to
trying to
get that
get the
dub.
bread, trying to
That's
achieve the
right.
yeast. out
We
here.
are securing the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that we're embarrassing.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not sorry at all.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm excited about everything. I think where the game is headed is really cool. I'm just like so ready for whatever the sport is going to be like in the next like 5 or 10 years. And I'm ready to get out there with you, start going to events. And hopefully this summer we can make some stuff happen and go and show up some places. And I'd love to talk to some of the best, to do it and
Yeah.
hopefully get some more people on the show and so that we can get better information out there to you guys.
Absolutely. I love that. Um, I hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of relaxed, sort of just like living room conversation about cornhole. I know typically, it's a little outside of our normal, like helpful how to series that we've been doing, but it's definitely something that we want to do from time to time because this game is ever evolving and the game is ever changing and there's always something new and exciting happening. And so we always want to make sure that we're able to cover all facets of that and all facets of the game. So do hope that you guys enjoyed this little casual conversation that we've had. And then we
Heck
also
yeah.
want to let you know we're going to be putting a post on our Facebook page because one topic that has come up repeatedly people ask about is, hey, when you guys say this, what do you mean? And so that led us into the conversation of cornhole speak and what does things mean when someone says X or someone says Y. And so we're going to put a post on our Facebook page and we want your involvement. So if you watch this video, we want you to go to this link or go to this post and we want you to let us know what are some of your favorite cornhole phrases, funny things that people say in your area, funny things that you've heard. We know we have people who say some hilarious stuff relating to the game. And so we're definitely going to talk about that. But what are some of the things that you guys hear in your neck of the woods? Do you have questions about like serious questions about what does certain things mean? Please comment that down below because we want to make this kind of an interactive episode where we're going to go through the post and we're going to pull out a bunch and we'll talk about our favorites on next week's show. So
Yeah,
do that.
that sounds great. Yeah, I've enjoyed this conversation. We try to be helpful, but I'm not a cow to be milked here, guys. Sometimes I just want to have a chill conversation too and not,
Right.
just do just intense preparation. But the intense preparation will be in next week's episode where we talk about cornhole jargon and slang and hopefully, we can clear that stuff up for you guys. And, as always, thanks so much for listening and we'll see you in the next one.
All right. We'll see you guys. Bye.